Welcome everyone to this podcast, SNU podcast, and we have with us none other than the very legendary photographer, Prasant Godbole sir. So welcome to this podcast, sir.
Thank you.
SNU,
Thank
hosted
you
by
for
SNU.
calling.
Sir, I would go back to the childhood.
You're right.
How was your childhood like, and what inspired you? Like any moments in your childhood that inspired you to be a photographer, or if you tell us more about your childhood.
Childhood was like a normal childhood. I was a very bright student. I used to get 36% every year, and my father was worried what to do with him. So and then somebody told him that there's one field where you don't need to study. And that's why I joined art school, where you just have to draw. And that's how I started.
Okay.
And so I found very nice friends there
Okay.
who taught. I mean, the thing was, they were very good at drawing. So I just tried to imitate them and eventually become better than them. So, so that's the journey. I mean, there's nothing
Right.
exciting about childhood.
Okay.
I mean, it was like a normal childhood,
Okay.
and like every house, there's a one dull guy. That was me.
So you want to tell about us about your family and like
Family. My father
brother.
is a very strict government officer.
Okay.
He was a tahsildar, and I have 4 brothers.
Okay.
The elder brother is very brilliant. He used to work for central government. He's one of the guys who built supercomputers for India.
Okay, great.
My younger brother is lawyer. He's a very big lawyer in Aurangabad. I'm from Aurangabad.
Okay.
Ajanta and Alloras are there.
Right.
And 4th brother is like artist me. So 4 of us.
Okay.
No sister.
Okay, no sister. So what after your 10th you planned to get into art school because you
there is
graduated from JJ School of Art?
No, so JJ's school's affiliated diploma course was there in Aurangabad.
Okay.
So I finished 4 years there. Every year I used to shoot first.
Okay.
So my senior friend said ki last year you should go to JJ School of Art
Okay.
because the whole market is there.
Right.
Advertising market was
Right.
in Bombay.
Right.
So last year I went to Bombay and I stayed there. I stood first, and the rest is history.
Yeah, so we had an insightful workshop with sir, and he shared us with lot of insights about how to go about creative thinking and creative design, and the design process that you talked about, sir. So in today's generation, as we were speaking earlier, like the attention span of this generation is very low. Okay, they're not patient enough to design stuff, think about stuff. They want everything in a jiffy. Like even so, I would like to know how to gain that patience again. How to be a designer, to be an art, to be a person who's in the field of art. You need patience.
True.
But now everybody wants everything in a jiffy. So how do you explain that?
That is the problem with social media culture.
Yeah.
No, so everybody wants instant gratification.
Yeah.
If I post my picture, I should get 1,000 likes by evening.
Right.
If I don't get 1,000 likes, then you feel depressed.
Yeah.
So I mean, this is the problem with the younger generation. There was no goal set in our life. We just used to practice, So I remember in School of Art in Aurangabad, we used to practice for 18 hours a day.
Wow.
We used to go to the bus stand and sketch whatever you see in front of you. We used to constantly talk about art. We used to study books. We used to refer books. We used to look at different painters. And it was not just advertising, anything. Art school was such that we had great singers there. So they used to talk about ragas and you should hear this, and they used to force us to listen to the songs. Ajanta Tyler was there, so we used to go on a picnic and enjoy and sit there and sketch. So it was a fun.
Yeah.
It wasn't a study. And I think that is what is missing. There is a constant goal people are keeping in front of them. There is no passion. We used to love doing stuff, and the moment you love doing a particular thing, then you start enjoying that.
So you want to say there is a loophole in the education system? Like
Completely, yeah. You should encourage kids to love what they do.
Right.
If they don't love what they do, then they are, just attending school.
Right.
They are wasting father's money. Actually, they are just, going through the,
daily chores.
Saying I had to go to college, I had to sit, I had to submit my assignment. So that is wrong. And the only way to see whether they're really interested is force them to do things differently and interestingly. And if they start enjoying it, then only they will make a difference. Otherwise, it's just I'm just doing the assignment, I have to finish it so that I'll get a certificate, I'll get a prize, whatever, and done, I've got something. And then I'll apply for the job. You will not get the job because you're not passionate, you're not good.
So the major problem that we as academician is facing is not getting enough students in the class. They've lost that interest to come into the class. I don't know why, but how to make them.
I mean,
like,
I saw
the
those films today, right?
Yeah.
I mean, not a single one is great.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm just
right.
one
I
to
understand. Yeah.
But everybody has a potential.
Yeah.
The subject has tremendous potential in it.
Yeah.
Whether they've been exposed to the right documentaries, the formats of documentaries, the procedure, was there a good beginning, middle, end?
Right.
Was there a surprise? Was there enough tension created within the documentary?
Right.
I mean, so you need to educate them, make them interested into the process of making film.
Right.
That requires knowledge, that requires constant study, and that requires encouragement. Even though they're going wrong, you need to say, this is fine, but you could have just done it this way. You could have just done it this way. Is there a possibility of doing something this way?
Right.
Just think about this way. So there is a possibility of, that's what we do in agency, right?
Right. Yeah.
You worked with Mohammed.
Yes.
He used to bomb stuff, right?
Right. Left, right, and
If
center.
you do, my boss used to say, I want to see, if you're designing something, I want to see 40 different designs by evening.
Yes.
So that was the pressure. And once you start doing it, you start enjoying it.
Yes.
Because you start seeing different things. And then they used to encourage. I remember Mohammed used to take us on our head and dance around, saying, what a beautiful idea. Because then he saw the fruits of, somebody's pushed you and done something really nice.
Yes, sir. Sorry, I cut you,
it's
sir. So in one of your illustrations, you have mentioned like your brain as a snail. You mentioned that it was you. So in today's generation, we have so many thoughts inside our brain. Like everybody, if you talk to any individual, they will say we have lots of thoughts. They're overthinking about things. So how do you control that? Like you being so calm and composed, and because thinking of an idea is not like so easy. You don't.
It can take 15 days. People don't see how much time it takes.
Yes.
People only see the last end result.
Yes, exactly.
The hard work that goes behind each and every creation, great creation, requires enough time. It's dal khichdi banane. Khichdi pakane ke liye utna time lagta hi hai. So to create a good idea, you need to go through the process of coming up with 20-30 ideas, then saying ki, "Arey, this was been done. This was seen it before. I've heard this before," and then remove whatever is not required, whatever is not original, whatever is copied. Just remove everything out, and then keep something that is original, and then push that to a level where people will say, "Oh my God, how they have done this." So once you get into that habit of doing things on a regular basis, then only you become. It's like Riyaz, right? I mean the singer, classical singer, will for 30-40 years they do Riyaz for 18-19 hours a day. They are constantly thinking about it. And after 17-18 years, they get one concert which pays them 5,000 rupees.
Yes.
It's not even a millions of dollars, right? So, but they're doing it for the love of music.
Yes.
And then only they can create art. you see that guy was chipping away the wood today, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he's doing it because he likes it,
Right. Yes.
you know, and he's just looking at you and chiseling away. I mean, that is what I wanted somebody to capture, because that chiseling away and not looking at it is what the finesse is.
Yes. True. So you shifted from advertising to photography. How has that transition been like?
So
because I know most of your advertising days you have done photography on the side.
No, so I used to work with great photographers. Raghurai ke saath, Sopan, Tejal, Prasant.
Right.
I mean, Indian photographers. For Taj, we used to get people from abroad.
Right.
And because I used to draw, I used to think, how I want the shot, and I used to discuss those with my photographers. Once, my friend Sopan wasn't free, so I took the camera and shot the campaign, which is the Airtel campaign.
Right.
And then that won some accolades. So suddenly I realized I can also shoot.
Right.
And then one of the younger girls in our office said, why don't
that
you
was
post?
When, so that was at what age?
It's about 10-15 years ago.
Oh, just that.
That's it. Before that, I was a pure art director. I used to get the work done.
So do you think photography needs that? See, sometimes we have all the gadgets with us, right?
No,
for photography. So do you need the vision or just the gadgets?
You need the vision
people are
and the ideas.
Yes.
See, the thing is, if I now this guy is looking, I can't see his head.
Right.
But I see his tripod and his body is aligned.
Yes.
I mean, that for me, that's a picture.
Right.
Because then it's a completely different.
Yes,
so
I can understand.
I mean, most of the people will not see that.
Right.
But I'm just seeing both hands and both legs are going like a tripod, and he's trying to balance this on his knees. So it's like this. You just have to observe, and you start seeing stories in it.
Right.
Everything is story.
Everything is a story. Right.
If you don't have stories, if you don't have ideas in it, then it's useless. I mean, if the thing doesn't have a story, throw it.
The first thing, the first day that I was taking a class, I said, who consider themselves as photographer? So nobody raised their hands. I said, you have mobile phone. So do you click photographs? Then you're a photographer. You just need to observe more and click more. Yeah. So they all said, I just gave them an assignment, so go around and just click photographs. So they all clicked photographs, and it was that. So that's what. So
no, but
so
what you should do is, for example, I've seen. I mean, my friend went to the school abroad, and then I asked him similar question: how they used to teach photography.
Right.
He said, it's very simple. The teacher used to give us assignment. For example, shoot potholes of London.
Yeah.
And then he has to go whole day shoot potholes of London. There's one guy who has done a chewing gum stuck onto the different places, and he shot those, just the chewing gum stuck, and they're all beautifully art directed, beautifully lit. So when you're seeing the images, right? I mean, in documentary also you've seen, the guys don't give a damn about light. So where should you stand so that the photograph will look better or the light will fall better is what the art is. The photography is all about understanding light. If you don't understand light, then you don't understand photography.
Exactly.
So the moment you start seeing the light, then you learn photography very fast. And that's what, when I was doing assignments with different photographers, I used to see these guys are constantly worried about light. Where am I putting light? Am I making my image flat? Like, this is a very bad lighting. 2 lights. Right? And that's maybe nice for the podcast, but that's terrible.
Right, a natural light. You're more of a natural light photographer, right?
So the thing is, you need to learn to look at the light and then understand ki, arey, this looks better because the light was falling this way. Right. So, and then the composition was there. I mean, you learnt it in your art schools. Different ways of composing things.
Okay. So, as you said, light is very important. I just wanted to, I'm now stuck. Okay, let's talk about your Cannes Gold win, sir. That was it was such a proud moment for India, to have a photographer we have always heard about this photographer, that photographer from different
Countries, yeah.
parts of the world winning Cannes Gold. We always wanted a photographer from India to, and you have done it. And how did it feel, sir? How, like, you want to share some thoughts?
You're
over
just doing a job, right?
Yes.
If you ask any great guy, was given an assignment and you just did the job.
Yeah.
Finally, somebody's entered it and it won gold. It was a.
Yes,
but
yes.
when you're doing the job, you're doing your 100%.
Right.
You are doing exactly the way you've done other assignments. You haven't done anything different.
Right.
You have looked at the light, you looked at the composition, you looked at what you practiced for so many years, you've done exactly the same thing.
Right.
There was no agenda on my mind that I'm going to win an award on this.
Yeah.
I just shot. And
Right.
that's what you should do. Because every time when you do work, you're doing it and you're doing it your
100%.
best.
Yeah.
And once you do your best, rest will follow.
Rest will follow.
It's like, you don't chase money, money
don't-
comes to
yeah.
you.
It's just
Correct. So it's always like that. So
Right.
people don't understand this. People are chasing today, like earlier
yes,
question.
Yes.
They're
yes.
chasing today rather than loving
Doing
it.
the work, loving the work passionately.
You should love it.
Yeah.
Then
exactly.
automatically everything happens.
Right. So
I mean, if you're good, people will go to Jahannam to find you.
yeah.
Okay. I mean, people from Bombay or London, from Hollywood coming here
Yes.
and chasing Rahman, right?
Yes,
Why?
Right. Yeah.
Because it's good.
This is good visible.
He didn't kept thing in mind, one day I will work for Hollywood. One day I will win Oscar. Nobody starts work like that.
Yeah.
You work and you do your perfect.
Right.
You do things passionately and something will happen. And if it happens, it's good. If it
Right.
doesn't happen, there's no end of the world, right? You
Right.
just did your job.
Right. So do you like shooting more of commercial work, or I know you are more of a street photographer, candid kind of photographer. You love doing that. So how do you differentiate between? How do you find?
I don't see any difference.
No.
Because in my, I'm a hardcore advertising guy.
Right,
I've been
yeah.
advertising throughout my life, right?
Yes.
I just brought that genre of journalistic style in my advertising. That's how I got Sopan or I
Right.
worked with Raghu Rai.
Right.
So that instead of a typical standard commercial photographer who puts two lights and make model look good,
Yeah.
I want real people in my advertising.
Yeah.
So I got the journalist to do the work for me.
Right.
And I like that style because it's more natural, it's more real.
Right.
And if you see, the Killer campaign or
Yeah.
all the other
Yeah.
campaign, it's pure journalism. There's nothing. It's
Yeah.
just a photograph.
Yeah.
And how it is.
Yeah.
The photographer was brilliant, so the composition was nice. Art director was brilliant. That was
That was you yourself.
No, but what I'm saying is that
Yeah.
it was a different work, and
Right.
that's why it is interesting.
Yes.
If everybody starts doing similar work, then I'd rather go to the fashion photographer.
Yes.
So I used to experiment. I used to give fashion work to a journalist and journalistic work to a fashion guy
Okay.
or a tabletop artist, because
Okay.
then they're in non-comfort zone.
Right.
They're not used to doing things, and then you put pressure to do something great.
Right.
And then magic happens. So make people uncomfortable, which is what Mohammed did throughout.
Yeah, true. So, in my personal opinion, I think you are the equivalent of Henry Cartier-Bresson
No.
in India. The decisive moment that
this
he,
is a
the
moment
theory line.
is if you ask,
Yeah.
there is no such thing as decisive moment
Yeah.
nowadays.
Yeah.
In
No, but
olden days,
in
it used
some
to
of
be
your
a film
photographs,
camera.
yeah.
Only 35 frames used to be there.
Right.
You
yeah,
are
true.
anticipating it.
Yes,
like
yes,
I told
yes.
you today,
Yes.
my
10
camera does
frames in
40
1
frames,
second.
40
Yeah.
frames in a second.
In second, yeah. So you did.
And at 80,000th of a second.
Right.
So I can have decisive 100 movements
Right.
within a one situation. So it's no longer, it's today it's a storytelling and composition. That still stays.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, the way you tell the stories through the picture, way you compose it.
But with your photography, sir, you find those stories which nobody else sees.
No, that's the habit.
Yeah.
You have to build. So
Yeah.
the thing is, you need to start seeing stuff which
Yeah.
normally people ignore, and that happens through the habit. The moment you start seeing, you start noticing it.
Right.
a lot of people say, "Arey, how do you notice?" You know.
Yes, yes, exactly.
That's the sense,
Exactly.
and that is the surprise.
Exactly.
So people get surprised how you achieved it.
Right.
It's just the habit.
Right.
I mean, you know, certain guy will take a tan, which people say, "Arey, how he has done it."
Yes.
But that's a practice.
Yes.
It's a practice that makes you perfect.
Right. So,
It's a practice of seeing things.
Right. So any thoughts on AI, the evolution of AI, and with photography? Like everybody is now a photographer just with the prompt.
Yeah.
So
No. So
do you think it's a like
no?
what is
So
the
like
future
printing
of-
technology died,
Yeah.
photography will die, filmmaking will die.
So you think it will die?
Yeah. Because
craft
I
will
can
remain
give.
servant.
No. So only the best will survive. 90% of the mediocrity will go away. Mediocrity that is exist in the thing. Chalta hai. Yeah, theek hai film. That will go because prompt will do better job. Okay. So now the expert which tells you, you know, this prompt is correct, but we still need a reflected light. You know, and
Yes.
that prompt is a photographer only can give.
Yes.
That the best guy can give.
Yes.
He knows exactly at what angle, what direction, at what temperature, and what intensity of light should fall on that subject. Only photographer understands because he's used to seeing the light.
Right. Yeah. It also,
That he
like-
knows, yeah. Because the guy who doesn't understand photography, the guy who doesn't understand cinematography, he will give a prompt, you know, guy is walking left to right, from that door he enters and, you know, comes closer to the camera. And exactly the same thing computer will do.
Right.
So mediocrity will die, which is good. The best will survive.
Right.
That's what is good.
Right. So you're talking
And
about
it's a tool.
Yeah.
I mean, we stopped using typewriter many years ago, right?
Yeah. True.
Yeah. We stopped using analog camera, film camera. Now everybody is digital.
True.
So we will go through the process. Some guys will die, some guys will continue. Printing is dead.
Yes.
Nobody prints these days.
Yes.
Everything is digital.
Even the photographs they
It's a
don't
digital
print.
file, yeah.
Yeah, we have
So,
to have a
yeah, we used to have the
yeah,
bromides,
we used
right?
to wait for the 35 film to
So
process
that entire
35
that industry is wiped out, right?
Yes, the
So,
Kodak of the world.
so that is going to happen. I mean, whether you like it or not,
Yeah.
it's going to go.
Right.
Like painters, the film posters they used to do hand painted
Yes,
film
yes,
poster.
they all dead.
It's all gone. Photography replaced them. So it's going to happen. But had the art died? No. Has the vision died? No.
Right.
So the guys who have vision, the guys who are best will survive. The guys who have no vision, they're just doing it for the sake of doing it. All those mediocre kids will die.
So they have to like upgrade
If they
the
don't
craft, yeah.
upgrade themselves, if they don't push themselves, if they don't think, become a thinker like your madam used to say.
Yeah.
I mean,
So do you think that kind of like technology should be
Thinking-
incorporated in the education system?
thinking has to be a huge part in education system.
Thinking is obviously.
Without that, there's nothing.
Right.
If there is no thought, like I said in
Yeah.
photograph, if there is no thought in the film, if there is no story, there's nothing.
Yeah. True.
So and for thinking, you need to have enough knowledge to
Knowledge to think.
So it's all catch-22.
True, sir. So would you like to give some insights and some of your thoughts to the students who want to become photographers in the future?
Practice.
And,
Look at the light. Practice. You take 1,000 pictures. If you get one, you are lucky. So in my entire life, if I get 10 good pictures, I will die happily. And I haven't got 10. So that's what.
You are more, sir. I was telling you about you should publish a coffee
this is
table
what
book.
another photographer said. I'm just taking his quote.
So the students like here, they want new technologies to be, so how do you see like the future of photography in terms of the technology, the
No, so
technical
you should
aspects of
become
it?
prompter. The
Yeah.
great prompter will become a great photographer.
Yeah.
The
Then the tools won't matter, sir. Don't you think the tools will be important then? Because now we have
the
drone
tools
photography.
is,
Like
no tools
we
is
have-
the computer.
right.
It's no longer a camera.
Okay.
It's the computer who sees through the camera, right?
So even the models are fake. That's what you're talking.
Models are already fake.
Yeah.
They're 360-degree rendering. if you see, you will not make out. Recently one guy has won a journalist prize, first prize. He won.
Okay.
And it was a strict competition, no retouching, no cropping, nothing.
Okay.
And it has to be pure journalistics job.
Okay.
He entered, all the judges he fooled, and he won first prize. Then he returned the award and said, "Ki, this was generated on AI. I just wanted to prove that AI is better than human."
Whoa. That's something. So it has been a pleasure, sir, having you here with us, and we would like you to come here again to SNU and impart a full-time lecture.
Because of you, I understood there is a university.
Yeah, so in Kolkata we are less exposed to the most of the creative hub is in Bombay and Delhi and
not
Bangalore.
True. I think the guy, I'm telling you, if you're good, people will find you.
Yeah.
But you have to become good. And
because here the film industry is also dying somewhere. We are talking about, we are not getting sponsors, they are not getting producers to make good films, and
not true.
That is also
not true. If you're good, they will find you. And all the guys, they'll end up in Bombay, right?
Right.
I mean, the best cinematographers are all Bengali today.
Right.
It's really nice.
Right.
So it's not true. People will find you if you're good. You will find the way to go to the right path. But you have to become good. That's the only answer to everything.
So any last words for the students? Yes.
They're all good. They need to work hard.
Thank you so much, sir.
Right.
It was a privilege for all of us here at SNU. Thank you so much.